So on your mat, either sitting in a comfortable upright position or on your back, just take a few minutes to drop out of the conceptual thinking brain and into your body. However that works for you. If you need to move a little bit, if stillness works better for you, but just take a few moments to really settle in. And we'll meet eventually on our backs on the sticky mat. Have your strap nearby, your block nearby. Let's take the soles of our feet to the floor, knees bent, so position of comfort, and arms alongside your body. And let's just begin with some dynamic bridge. So pressing into your feet, inhale, sweep your arms up and over, backs of your hands touch the floor behind you, and then leave your arms there and roll your spine down one vertebra at a time, lengthening and sort of uncreasing the spine. And then just bring your arms alongside your body like you're making a big snow angel back to the beginning position. Okay, so go at your own speed here and just do a few of these rolling bridges, feeling into your spine, your hips, your neck perhaps, as you explore with curiosity. If at any point you need to switch it up and do something a little different, one arm at a time, head goes in the opposite direction, or maybe holding a strong bridge. And then just coming back to resting on your back, let's take our hands to the top of our thighs and press, try to make some space between the top of your thigh and your hip pointers. Again, so getting some length through your back. And then let that go and stack your knees over your hips, nice and wide, maybe even a little bit wider than the hips, arms out to a T. And just allow yourself to move back and forth, bringing knees and hands together, and then opening up and going to the opposite side. Just big, sweeping movements. Great. The next time that everything comes to the right, keep your knees to the right and slide your left hand over to the left, opening up into a twist. Take a couple breaths in this twist. And then inhale the top knee up and just get that same rocking motion, knees and hands. Next time your knees come to the left, keep the knees stacked and slide the right arm across your chest, opening up into a twist. If you can relax into the twist, settle into the twist. And then inhale the top leg up. Bring your hands to your knees as they're stacked over your hips and take some circles. Maybe circling both knees at the same time, or maybe circling your knees out and back in. So be curious what feels nice in your body as a warm up here. And then take your hands to your ankles. See if you can get your hands on your ankles, and then bring your ankles right down beside your hips and press your hips up. So lengthening both knees away, like you're going to press a button with each knee in front of you. So opening up your the front of your legs and your hip flexors, shoulder blades firmly planted on the floor. And then let your hips come back down, tuck your knees into your chest. Maybe cross at the ankles. You can rock a little bit here. And then separate the feet. If you cross them, grab your ankles again, bring your feet down right beside your hips, press your hips up and draw your knees away. And then coming back down, you'll need your strap now. And I have a big loop in my strap, but it doesn't necessarily have to happen right now. But take the strap across the metatarsal arch of your soles of your feet and just pull on the strap and press your feet into the strap. So let's have arms bent here so the biceps are getting a little bit of awakening. And then just press into the strap with your feet and pull back against your feet. Feel a little opening happening in the back of your legs, the hamstring. Take a couple of breaths here. And then slide your left foot out, leave your right foot in the strap, bring your left foot, sole of your left foot down to the floor. And then with your right hand pretty close to your right foot, open the right leg just far enough so that the left hip stays on the floor. And then bring your right leg across your midline and cross your right leg over your left leg, left knee bent, and then open the right leg up. You can open the left leg out as well. And just do that a few times, just crossing the right leg in front of the left leg and keeping both sides of your pelvis really connected to the floor. Great. Now the next time we come out with the right leg, we're going to go all the way to the floor. Let your left hip come up and keep the sole of your left foot on the floor and reach your left knee away. So you're reaching the left knee away. Right leg is open on the floor. You'll have a little arch in your back here. And the left knee is reaching away towards the right corner of your mat. And then from here, slide the left leg over and stack it on the right leg. So your body's in an L shape. Left arm out, so there's a twisting action here, some opening in the hamstrings. Bend through the top leg and bring your left leg up over center and reach the right leg up. Now put both feet back in the strap, press into the strap, pull against the strap. Feel the back of your legs opening a little bit more, and then slide the right foot out, leave the left foot in the strap. Good. Same thing. Right sole of right foot to the floor, so the right knee is bent, and then open the left leg out just far enough so that your pelvis stays level. Then cross the left leg in front of the right, and then you repeat that a few times. So just easy sort of manipulation or excitement in the sacroiliac joint. Slowly warming up the pelvic area, the lower back, and then we'll take the left leg all the way out to the left and let your right hip pick up and reach your right knee towards the left corner of your mat. Inside edge of your right foot stays planted on the floor. Take a couple breaths here. And then we'll slide the right leg over, straightening that right leg and stacking the right leg on the left leg. Big twist. Bend through the top leg, come back to center, both feet back in the strap. Press into the strap with your feet. Pull back against the strap of your feet with the strap. And then you could just keep the tension on the strap and rock yourself up to a seat or roll to one side and come up to a seat. Okay, so since you have your strap in your hand right now, go ahead and put a loop in your strap about, this looks like about 3 feet. And then we'll set that to the side. We'll need that later. Okay, and then come to hands and knees. And we're going to mix things up a little bit because that's what spring is like. So on your exhale, you're going to let your belly drop towards the floor. And this is usually our inhale, but we're going to make that be the exhale. And then on your inhale, you're going to press into your hands and round your back towards the ceiling. And exhale and let your belly drop towards the floor. You can lift your gaze, spread your tail feathers a bit. And on your inhale, press into the floor, round your back up towards the ceiling. Just take a couple of cat-cows in the opposite breath pattern. How does that feel? The next exhale, as your belly moves towards the floor, bring your forearms to the floor, interlacing your hands, and drop your hips back towards your heels, and just slide hips right and left. And see if you can really get your hips to really arch. Make a big smiley face behind you, big movement right and left. And then release the cross of your fingers and let yourself come all the way back towards your heels, but don't set your hips down, arms straight out in front. So kind of like a puppy pose, wide knees if possible. And then inhale to come back up to all fours. Good. Next inhale, reach the right leg out. So point your toes down towards the floor. So half a bird dog here. So you don't have the left arm extended. We're pressing into our hands. Really feel the strength, okay, the strength of your upper body. And then on your next exhale, bring your right foot beside your right hand. So out beside your right hand. And then come up onto the tips of your fingers, press yourself up and bring your left ankle to cross over your right ankle. So you're like in a curtsy. And then bring your left knee back to the floor. Inhale the right leg out behind you again, feel that strength. Exhale, cross your right knee behind your left knee and set your hips back towards child's pose. So it's like a cross-legged child's pose. Couple breaths here. Feel a little different stretch or a little different opening. And then inhale yourself back to table. Exhale. Inhale, reach the left leg long, toes point to the floor. Exhale, bring your left foot beside your left hand. Tense your fingers, come up on your fingertips, and come up and cross your right ankle behind your left ankle. So a curtsy, right ankle behind the left ankle. Good. And then come back, right knee to the floor. Inhale, left leg long. Exhale, cross your left knee behind your right knee and set your hips back towards child's pose. Take a couple of breaths in this child's pose. So I'm sort of off the center of my mat as I come back. Good. Then we inhale back up, both knees underneath. We'll try the same thing again. So a little bit unusual pattern. All right. And we're just working on that whole cycle of awakening. Okay. So inhale the right leg out, point your right toes to the floor, half a bird dog. Exhale, bring your right foot beside your right hand, tense your fingers, press yourself up, take your left ankle behind your right ankle, like a curtsy. And then inhale to come back. Exhale, settle. Inhale, right leg comes back out behind you. Exhale, cross your right knee behind your left knee and settle your hips back in a cross-legged child's pose. And 2 full breaths there, and then inhale back to table. Both knees under your hips. Good. Next inhale, reach the left leg long. Exhale, left hand beside the left foot beside the left hand. Tense your fingers, press yourself up, put your right ankle behind your left ankle. Good. And then you come back to your knees. Inhale, the left leg goes long. Exhale, cross your knees, left knee behind the right knee, and set your hips back in this cross-legged child's pose. Inhale to come back up, both knees underneath your hips. Take an extra breath if you need to settle here. And then inhale, reach the right leg long, toes point towards the floor. Exhale, bring your right foot beside your right hand. Tense your fingers, press up. Maybe now you can hover your fingers off the floor as the ankles cross. Then hands back down. Come back down with the left knee. Inhale the right leg long. Exhale, put the right knee behind the left knee and set back towards child's pose. And inhale, come back up, stack both knees under your hips, take a extra breath to settle if you need. And then inhale, reach the left leg long, toes point down towards the floor. Exhale, left foot beside the left hand, tense your fingers, press up, put your right ankle behind your left ankle, maybe hover the hands. Then hands come back down, right knee comes back down. Inhale the left knee long, left leg long, sorry. Exhale, cross your left knee behind your right knee and settle your hips back down. The cross-legged child's pose. Good, and then inhale, bring both knees under hips, child's tabletop. And then from here, let's just take a child's pose, a wide-legged child's pose. Bringing your upper body right in between your legs. Great, and then we'll come back up, turn toes under, press up and back, downward facing dog. Gather your legs, so squeeze your legs. I'm strong here. Just feel nice length through your back. Turn the triceps down towards the floor. And then come back down to hands and knees. Next inhale, take the right leg long, toes point towards the floor, and then exhale, right foot toward on the outside of the right hand. Tense your fingers, bring yourself forward, and now just step all the way up and take the right leg up in the air. Okay. And then from here, we'll bend through the standing leg and drive the front leg back and come into warrior one with the hands on the hips. Inhale to reach the arms up. And on your exhale, bring your arms forward, bow your chin in, and just feel the separation between your shoulder blades. And then inhale, sweep the arms open. Exhale, bring your hands forward, bow your chin in, and feel the shoulder blades separating. We'll do a couple of those. Just inhale and open up the arms. Open through the collarbones, and then exhale, sweep the hands forward and tuck your chin. Inhale and exhale. And then one more time, inhale, open up the arms, open through the collarbones. And on this exhale, bring your hands down around your front foot and come back down to table. Take a couple rounds of cat-cow with the opposite breath. Opposite breath pattern. So the exhale, we're letting the belly reach towards the floor, lifting the gaze, spreading the tail feathers. And on the inhale, pressing your back up towards the ceiling, rounding in. Then come to neutral spine. Inhale, left leg reaches out behind. Exhale, bring your left foot beside your right hand. Tense your fingers. Go for like you're going to put the ankle behind, but come all the way up. So right leg is lifted. Right leg is lifted. And then bending through the front leg, step your right foot back and come into warrior one, hands on hips. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, drive your hands forward like you're putting a spike into something, and round your shoulders or pull your shoulder blades away from one another, tuck your chin. And then inhale, open up the collarbones, open up the chest. Exhale, bring hands together in front of you, separating shoulders and plunging the hands forward. Take a couple rounds there. And good. And then on the next exhale, your hands will come down around the front foot. Okay, now just sweep the front foot back and come into downward facing dog. Moving the hips side to side. Squeeze your legs. Squeeze the legs strong. And then walk your feet up towards your hands. Take your feet to the edge of your mat. Bend through your knees. Bring your elbows, your forearms to your knees. So you're sort of in a deep squat. And then press into your feet and stand up to standing with a nice wide Tadasana. Nice wide Tadasana here. Good. Take your weight into your right foot. Inhale your arms up. Pick up your left foot and place it on the same edge as your right foot. It's the same edge of your mat. Good. And then you can bring your hand down, forearm to your thigh. Come into extended side angle. And then press your front leg straight and come into triangle. Holding this triangle for a couple of breaths. And then inhale, sweep the top arm back, the bottom arm up, and come into warrior two. Good. Inhale, turn your body, turn your back foot, come into high crescent. Settle on the exhale. And then on your next inhale, step your feet forward, both feet forward again in this wide Tadasana. Take your weight into your left foot. Inhale, reach the arms up and set the right foot back like you're on a tightrope, coming to the same side of the mat. And then turn, take your left forearm to your front thigh, so you're in extended side angle. Inhale, straighten the front leg, come into Trikonasana. Take a couple breaths here in Trikonasana. And then back to the front thigh, but sweeping the arms up so you land in warrior two. You might have to adjust your feet a bit. Good, then you'll inhale, turn your body, sweep your arms up, turn your back foot, come into crescent lunge. Exhale to settle. Inhale, step forward into this wide Tadasana. Inhale. Exhale, take a forward fold. Here's where you might want to block. Inhale to a halfway lift. And then bend through your knees. Take your block just right in front of you. Bring your forearms back onto your thighs so you're in this sort of a squatting position. Good. And then press yourself up. You can use your hands on your thighs. Press yourself up strongly. Come into this wide Tadasana shape. Take your weight into your right foot. Sweep your arms up. Bring your left leg up. So you're in a familiar shape here. But now tuck the chin. You got your block there. If you need to tuck your chin, drive your hands forward together. Inhale back up. Bend through the front leg, the right leg, and step your left leg back, warrior one. Now you don't have to be on the edge, so you can have a little more open stance. Okay, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, open the feet a little wider, come back to warrior two. Inhale, turn the front palm and sweep your front arm back, exalted warrior. Inhale, reach the front arm forward, dropping your forearm to your thigh and come into side angle. Next inhale, sweep the top arm, straighten the front leg, come into Trikonasana. Top arm sweeps back on the inhale as you bend through your front leg. Find yourself back in warrior two. Next inhale, turn the back foot, turn the body towards the front of your mat, come back into crescent lunge. And then from here, inhale, step back into that wide Tadasana. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, fold. Use your block if you have it, want it, and then bending your knees, come back into that deep squat. Elbows rest on the thighs. You can do this without your hands or with your hands, but press yourself straight up. Good. Take your weight into your left foot. Reach the right leg up. Good. So you're balancing on the left foot. And then bend through the standing leg and step the right leg back. Come into warrior one. Now in this warrior one, on your exhale, you'll round through your back, tuck your chin, and drive your hands forward. Palms are together. And then inhale back, open or up. And then do that a couple of times, really feeling. I guess we did that we did that, I think, while we were standing up. So sorry about that. You can come back to standing on the left leg and the balance, and then driving the hands forward, rounding through the back. And then the last time we had our hands up, then drive the foot back, warrior one. Inhale to reach your hands up, and then on the exhale, open up your stance, come into warrior two. Inhale, reach the front arm, and exhale, come back, exalted warrior. Inhale, sweep back through warrior two, front forearm comes to the front thigh, extended side angle. As you inhale, straighten the front leg, and come into Trikonasana. Bending through the front legs, sweeping the arms back, warrior two. Now you're on the long edge of your mat. So now on this next inhale, just turn both feet to face one another, bring the arms overhead. So you're in a big wide stance, lined up with the long edge of your mat. Interlace your hands, press your palms towards the ceiling, and lean in one direction. Side opening, inhale back to center, press palms to the ceiling, and side bend in the opposite direction. Come back to center, release your hands, heel toe the feet a little bit, and come back into this big squat. Forearms resting on the thighs. So now the feet are a little wider, so kind of in a goddess stance, but you're pressing your forearms into your thighs. Keep the back as straight or as long as possible, and then pressing into your feet, stand up. Heel toe the feet together. Heel toe the feet together so your feet are underneath your hips. Good, and we'll take another balancing posture here. So let's go to Vrksasana, tree pose. So take your weight into one foot and bring the opposite foot either against your calf or up against your thigh. Hands to heart. Find where your balance is today, just be curious. So we're going to move from Vrksasana to warrior three. So you can lift the bent leg, the non-standing leg, up to that same sort of balance we did a few minutes ago. And then start to lean forward as you press your lifted leg back into any version of warrior three. Sweep the lifted leg back up. Place your foot back in Vrksasana. And then release to standing, shake out your legs, walk around your space, whatever you need to do. And let's try the other side. So weight into the opposite foot, find Vrksasana on the opposite side. release the lifted leg as you hinge forward and come into whatever version of Warrior 3 feels right for you. Be curious, be kind. And then you'll sweep that leg back up, coming into the balance with the opposite leg lifted, and then find Vrksasana again. Release down to the floor, shake out your legs or walk around your space. Good. And then we'll come to line up on the long edge of the mat with feet wide. Here you can have a block or two. And take your hands to your hips. Stack your hips in line with your heels as you take a fold here. So lots of options. You could take your hands to the floor. You could rest your forehead on the block, or maybe some of you can have your head all the way to the floor. So take a little inversion here. Keep the hips lined up with the heels, so there's a tendency to come forward here. So keep your hips back, lined up with your heels. Resting your forehead on a block, 2 blocks, maybe just hands underneath your sternum, your shoulders, just letting your head dangle for a few breaths. And then slowly just begin to pull one inner thigh towards the other inner thigh. So there's a little movement in the pelvis as you draw your inner thigh towards the other inner thigh, back and forth a bit. Now you can keep it really small like this, or you could take more of a Skandasana where you're bending through one leg and coming all the way over, maybe using the legs to rest an elbow or not. See what feels right for you today, what level of fierceness. You want the spring storm or the spring budding? So just wherever you are, with some curiosity and kindness in this cycle of awakening the body. And we'll come back to center. If you're resting your head on a block, you can move the block out of the way, hands to the floor, and then heel toe the feet in just a bit closer. Bring your forearms to your thighs again, so you're in this big squat. Maybe this time you don't need to press with the hands. You can bring your hands to heart center and press yourself up to standing. Good. And then heel toe the feet together and come into Tadasana. Great. From this Tadasana, let's go to the top of the mat. Come back into the Tadasana and take a vinyasa of your choice. You might come right to the floor here, or you might run through a sun salutation to come on to the floor, onto your back eventually. So you choose how you'd like to get there. And we are going to meet on our bellies. Great, and then once on your belly, you can make a little pillow with your hands, rest your forehead on the pillow. Reach each leg long, and press into your forearms and just lift slightly. Draw your tailbone down towards your heels, repeat, and you can stay right here for 8 to 10 rounds, or you could release your arms to your side, take more of a locust, a little bit stronger. You can also lift the legs with the arms. just find what works for you this morning, this evening. What's the best use of the shapes for you? And after you've taken 8 to 12 rounds of this, let's everybody rest their forehead on a hand pillow. Bend through the knees and take some windshield wipers here. And then bringing hands alongside low ribs, press up to table, back towards a child's pose without resting the hips. Back to table, turn toes under, downward facing dog. Pull the right leg up now and bring your right knee up towards your right wrist, coming into pigeon. So propping under the right hip or just going to your back and doing the figure 4. So we're going to kind of stay pretty upright in this pigeon. If you can really open enough to allow your whole pelvic floor, your whole pelvis to relax down towards the floor. Then we'll curl the back toes, press up through three-legged dog, and then downward dog, and then opposite side. So inhale the left leg up, and exhale as you bring your left knee towards your left wrist, slide the right foot back, coming into pigeon on the other side. And if you're on your back, that's fine. Go to your back. If you want to fold over in this pigeon, you can. And then we turn the back toes under, press ourselves up, three-legged dog, and then downward dog. Squeeze the legs. Great. Coming forward, you can lower through chaturanga or bring your knees to the floor. And if you lower through chaturanga, just meet us sitting on your heels and grab your strap. So set your strap up so that your tail is on your side of your body so you can access it. The strap's going to go on your low back, and then my buckle to the side. I'm going to get both feet into my strap at low back, and now I'm in Dandasana with the strap. So I'm encouraging that neutral spine to pelvis forward, actually, in this Dandasana. So you might have to play with your strap a little bit, tightening or loosening. Great. So now with your setup here in Dandasana, instead of pulling on the strap against your feet, pull on the strap against your low back and keep that arch in the back as you fold forward slightly. So some of us need to be careful with the low back, and you might just stay upright here, or you might stay even here. Okay. But if it feels okay for you and you don't have some low back issues, pull on the strap against your low back and fold. Keep driving your heels down into the floor. So the hamstrings are turned on. And come back up, slip the left leg out and come into more of the Janu Shirshasana shape. Right, so left knee is bent and I've got my left foot into my right thigh. And again, I'm gonna, instead of pulling against my foot, I'm gonna pull the strap the other way. So I'm keeping the arch in my low back as I come into a bit of a fold here. Toes are up towards the ceiling. I'm spiking that right heel down. I'm keeping engagement in my hamstring. I'm supporting my low back in this fold. Come back up, slip both feet in, and then slip the other leg out. Change my orientation a little bit. So I've got the strap at my low back. I'm in the Janu Shirshasana shape. I'm going to pull the strap against my low back as I come into this fold. And I really have to spike this left heel down and keep an honest engagement in my hamstring. Come back up. Okay, take the strap off, set it over to the side. Bent knees, hands behind the thighs or on the knees, come down to your back. Pull your knees towards your chest and just relax the spine here. So length through the spine. Think about the long kangaroo tail. Just lying on the mat, nice and flat, nice and straight. Okay. And then from here, could be a laughing baby. The finish, fish pose, or a cooling inversion by taking the largest surface area of your block underneath your sacrum and taking a supported shoulder stand. The legs straight up, toes pulled back towards your shins. Not a ton of engagement here, but just nice, not completely collapsed either. Shoulder blades underneath. I've got my hands to the side, palms open. And stay like this for a really long time if you wanted to. Or you can segue to a more traditional Shavasana. You choose here. So really just let yourself really relax or let go into the surrender part, maybe the cultivation part, as we were talking about. Just let yourself go. No need for any more effort at all. And even as you spend a few moments in Shavasana, see if you can recognize that cycle. I like the word sudden with the awakening because sometimes it surprises us what motivates that awakening. So sudden awakening, gradual cultivation, sudden awakening, gradual cultivation. If you'd like to roll to one side for a few breaths, please do that. And if you want to join me in a seat, you can press up and come to a comfortable seat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace to everyone today in all your activities. May you experience that beautiful cycle of sudden awakening, gradual cultivation, sudden awakening, and gradual cultivation as we continue on the path of our lives. Namaste.